Alright, yeah, and welcome back to some more Magic Duels with our third and final episode with the White Weenie deck. So, as it is tradition in the third episode now, we're going to make some changes to the White Weenie deck. So, based on the suggestions that you guys made, we've ended up cutting an Expedition Envoy for a Kytheon. I'm not sure why he wasn't in here, to be fair. There is absolutely no reason. He's essentially an Expedition Envoy just by himself, except for he has the ability to turn into a Planeswalker and make himself indestructible, so he's just tons better. There is obviously the synergy with allies and triggering the core Blade World, but I don't think that's going to be too relevant, not when we've got ourselves a potential Planeswalker on the board. Another suggestion you guys made was to add some Lone Riders in. I figured I might as well give it a try. So it is a 1 and a white, 1/1 with First Strike and Lifelink. The beginning of the end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, transform Lone Rider, and it gets to transform into an It Rise as 1, which becomes a 4/4 First Striking Triple Lifelink. So it actually means it triggers the future Lone Riders as well as being a big threat on the board that we can push through damage with. So, the main reason we're adding these is because of Glory-Bound Initiate. Being able to become a 4/4 with Lifelink will trigger every Lone Rider on the field at that time. We only have 2, but I think having just 1 on the field is going to do a fair amount of work anyway. Plus, we have also gone up an extra Blessed Alliance as well, because we have the opportunity to gain 4 life, and it also allows us to untap exerted creatures, and it's a little bit of removal on the side as well, which is pretty sweet. So, the things that we've gone down the Grasp of the Hieromancers. They weren't necessarily bad at all, but we needed to make space, and I think those are the things that got cut. I considered doing the Corrupt Mate, but I remember how awesome it was when I was pulling out Blade Whirls from the graveyard to give everything First Strike. So I kind of like that little interaction. Plus, it pretty much gets everything back now, including a Lone Rider. So if we do end up getting a fair bit of life in the turn that we attack, with the Glory-Bound Initiate, the Lone Rider coming back will actually be coming back as a 4/4, which is pretty awesome. We also just did a little bit of trimming as well. Cut down a Free Blade yet again. It's not because it was bad, it's just that I needed space to make in this area. Not entirely sure if there was any better cuts, but we're going to play around with it, see how it does, and I will see you guys in the matches. Alrighty then, we're in and we're on the play. We have 2 Westvale Abbeys, a Free Blade, and Angelic Destiny later down the line. I think we can do far better than this, so I'm going to throw it back. And this is kind of reasonable, so we've got a little bit of enchantment and artifact removal. Not sure how useful that's going to be in this matchup, but we do have a Kytheon to start off with. If we draw a Plains, then we've got a Consul's Lieutenant. If not, Glory-Bound Initiate, so it's not too bad. Play the Plains, play Kytheon, pass the turn. See if our opponent has removal. Also get to see what they're playing. Our service has... Ding. See, I'm not sure why I didn't add Kytheon in. I guess it was just an oversight. Just didn't even spot him. But he's pretty sweet. He's not the best Planeswalker in the world by any stretch, but, you know. Alright, so our opponent goes with an Evolving Wilds into a Forest. That bodes well for us. Hopefully we draw a Plains here. And we do. Alright. Plains means that we can get down the Consul's Lieutenant, which allows us to pump up all of our creatures in the future. It's really good to get him renowned quickly before they clog up the board and make it difficult for us. Here's a 2/1 with First Strike, so he's going to have to put a decent creature down to stop us, but then we get to stick a Cartouche on it as well and give it First Strike, so there is a good chance that we get that renowned, or at least trade off a creature to stop it getting renowned. There's red. Hopefully no Twin Bolt here. Just a Renegade map. Okay. Looks like we're going to get the Cartouche down. Rampage comes down, bounces back to his hand because he doesn't have the energy to pay for it. So we're going to get into 4 and then renown our Lieutenant, which is nice. Ooh, Smuggler's Copter. If that is a Smuggler's Copter, I'm tempted to put a Cartouche on something. Part of me wants to put it on an Initiate. I think that's probably the best option, because next turn Kithion attacks in, becomes a Planeswalker, and the enchantment falls off, so we're not putting on him, and then the first strike part of the enchantment's absolutely lost on the Lieutenant, so I think that's what we'll go with. So, anyway, swing in first. Hit our opponent for 4. The pressure we're putting on right now might either do a lot of work or it might backfire horribly. It depends on how fast our opponent can build up their board compared to us. So we're going to go Glorybound Initiate. And... I was thinking getting the Cartouche on it now in case our opponent burns away a creature, but if they're going to burn away a creature, it's going to be the Kithion. So I think I can wait on the Cartouche, knowing full well we've got the mana to do Smuggler's Copter plus Cartouche next turn. I think that is fine. There's an argument for using the Fragmentize on the Renegade map, because that might actually be one of our opponent's lands, essentially. Let's see if they crack it. If they crack it, then it was probably a mistake to not destroy it, because that could likely mean that they don't actually have any more lands in hand. Yeah. Gets another forest. Okay. We're going to see a Rampager bounce again. Who knows? I can't remember how much energy it is to keep it around. It's either 2 or 3, so our opponent might have a 3/4 in no time at all. They must have something though. Show me what you've got. There's your Rampager. Looks like it needs 2. So it bounces because you have to pay the 2 before you get the energy. So now it would come down normally. Okay. Our opponent's going to let us flip our Kithion over with no worries whatsoever. They're going to have themselves a Rampager next turn though. And we're going to have a Declaration in Stone for it, so that's nice. Okay. Right, let's swing in with everything. It's quite the amount. I don't know if we're going to renown our Initiate. I guess not, because I'd like to untap and maybe attack through a Smuggler's Copter. I don't think the life total is going to matter right now. We're already hitting for 4 anyway. That's 10. Kithion flips. Now we get to Smuggler's Copter plus Cartouche, gets ourselves a token. Stick it on this guy. And tap target creature, it gains indestructible until the end of the turn. Keep you around past the turn. So our opponent could play a creature, crew up the Smuggler's Copter, we trade off with our Copter, and then they're dead. So yeah, they need some sort of board wipe here. I mean, if they've got Radiant Flames, that would do it. To a certain degree, anyway. We've still got ourselves a 4/4 Gideon. Yeah, it looks like they don't have anything. There's a Rampager. Sticks around this time. So they lose the 2 energy. But it is just board wipe or bust here. So it's looking as though we just win. Going at us. Alright, I won't block. You don't survive this next turn anyway. Means we can hit for more. More value. And there's a Militia Captain. Alright, so play our Militia Captain. Make Gideon a 4-4. Crew up the Smuggler's Copter. Swing in for a butt turn. We could even fragmentize their Smuggler's Copter. That's a lot of damage. Boom. Exert. Why not? Crew. Why not? Don't need a Nimbus Wings. Don't need any of these cards. But that is quite the board state. And our opponent just was not quick enough. Which is how White Weenie wins half the time. Alright, fantastic. I will see you in the next game. Alrighty then, we're in. We have a 1-land hand. If we drew 2 lands for the next 2 turns, this would be awesome, but we cannot rely on that, so we're going to have to throw it back. 3 lands, Militia Captain, Smuggler's Copter, and an Always Watching with a Cartouche as well. Yes. Yes. Let's do it. Alright. Play the planes and pass. So next turn, play Smuggler's Copter. Turn after that, handway a Militia Captain. Turn after that, Always Watching. Give or take for draws that might be better than those actions, of course. Opponent leads off with a Mountain. Never a good sign. A lot of our creatures are shockable, unfortunately. But Smuggler's Copter is not, so we'll get that one out. Get to attack with that next turn. It's going to help with our draws a little bit. Stop us drawing into tons of lands, that kind of thing. Maybe this Cartouche isn't too useful, since we'll be tapping down our Militia Captain to use it. Another green-red deck, eh? Alright. And we get another Plains. Right. Let's go with Militia Captain. Hopefully our opponent does not have removal for our Smuggler's Copter. Well, they don't for our Militia Captain, not yet at least. And we'll loot away this Plains. We're likely to draw into another Plains naturally anyway. Well, there's a Westvale Abbey. Might as well keep that over a Plains right now. Galvanic Bombardment. Okay. So they do have an answer to our creature, that's fine. I could stick a Cartouche on the Copter and watch it drop off, just so that we have a creature. Not entirely sure that's entirely necessary at this point. Unless we get incredibly unlucky with our draws, we should just find another creature soon enough. Our opponent leads off with a Lathnu Hellion. Alright, I'd like to keep up Blessed Alliance for the next hit of that. This is green-red aggro then. Should be noted that the next bombardment will actually kill the Smuggler's Copter, so we're going to watch out for that. Come on, 2-drop. Well, it's a 2-drop. Get what you asked for, I guess. Well, might as well play it. Nothing better to do with our mana. And you never know, it might be useful later down the line. Pass the turn. Take down the Lathnu Hellion with the Blessed Alliance, I think. Let's just hope he doesn't have another one. No amount of pump and protection is going to save him from this. Sack an attacking creature. This might just be green-red energy then. Could just be green-red aggro. But a Bristling Hydra says energy. And that's annoying. I would rather save the Blessed Alliance for that. But there you go. More lands. Always a good sign. Play the Always Watching. Really wishing I'd have actually used this Cartouche now. My worst nightmares have come true. Always Watching means our 2/2s are now going to become 3/3s, which might help. Although our opponent's removal of choice is Galvanic Bombardment, which now deals with 3/3s, so who knows. So our opponent gets to get in for 4 here, potentially 5, depending on whether or not they want to risk dropping their guard. They might also not want to attack in case we've got another Blessed Alliance. But Lathnu Hellion means that they're not afraid to do that. We're getting hit for 8 this turn. Yeah, our opponent's just got far more aggression than we do. Oh dear. Oh boy. We're going to be chump blocking, if anything, so... Devoted crop mate. Sure. And then we can stick a cartouche on it so we can crew up both smugglers' copters. Get a double loot. Not that that particularly matters, but... I suppose we can get ourselves a token, leave back a 4-3. I'm assuming our opponent had maybe some removal there, but we have a 5-4 now, so it's going to need double bombardment or double removal of that kind of sort. It's a little bit risky doing this, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure we still live. It might come close, though. Certainly. Like an insult wins it for them here. Coming in. Right. Crewing up. And block the Hydra. Take 4. Blossoming defense. Sure. Take 6. Do you have any more pump? Maybe even a shock. No point looting. Fiery temper. Alright. Not much you can do there. Opponent was much faster. Alright, let's have one more game. Alright, we're in, and we have a pretty decent hand. We are on the play, so the knight's not so good, but we have some turn 2 plays that I'd rather make anyway, so that's not too bad at all. We might even be able to ramp if we play our cards right. So, let's lead off with a Plains into a Kytheon. That's a 2-1 on the board. Nice little bit of aggression. It's really nice when White Weenie gets to lead off with a turn 1 play. It's usually a bad sign for our opponent. See if they've got any removal. We're in red again. Please don't be green-red for a 3rd time. That would be awkward. Okay, we get ourselves a Plains. So, play the Plains. Let's swing for 2 right now. See if our opponent has a shock or anything like that. Looks to not be the case. Right, I think I'm going to lead off with a Free Blade and get the chance to renown it while we still have an opportunity. Yeah, I don't think this knight's going to get any value. I think we're probably just going to end up casting it before long. Since we've got 2 lands in hand, we'd have to skip a draw, a land drop, in order for us to get any kind of value. And also hope that our opponent has a land, which I just don't think is worth it. Blue-red. Mill, maybe? We have a pretty decent matchup against Mill. Harness Lightning, killing which one of our creatures? One does more damage, one has more potential. And it goes for the one with the more potential. Kytheon down. Fair enough. Still got pressure on the board though. And a Gideon for our turn 4 play. Nice. Nice. Our opponent did miss their land drop, which is not good for them. It's very good for us. We renown our Free Blade, so they're going to need some better removal. Another Harness Lightning would do it, I suppose, but Shock and things like that won't. Let's get a Lone Rider down. And play another Plains. Pass the turn. Next turn we get to Gideon. Make ourselves some 2/2s. And start going very wide on the board, eventually starting to hit our opponent for 5 every turn. They are passing, which means we go to combat first before we do anything. I want to see if our opponent has any bounce or burn, because he does have counter magic open. Well, there is some flash. That works for me as well. Gets to block 3 and takes 1. And gets some energy from it as well. I think this is mill. Because this guy, you can tap 3 energy to draw a card. And it's a pretty decent blocker to keep him alive. But now we have a Gideon. So our opponent's going to need some bounce. Or some decent threats in order to deal with this. Otherwise it'll just get out of hand quite quickly. Make a token, pass the turn. I suppose Exquisite Firecraft could kill it here. Question is our opponent running an Exquisite Firecraft? And Electrify on a free blade only hits creatures. It's good for us. So, we're going to be hitting our opponent for 3 next turn. I'm assuming they're going to block the Gideon. They might just block the token and take 6. It's a possibility, I suppose. I don't really want to add too much to the board anymore, just in case there is a board wipe on its way. Declaration in Stone. Not worth it for this guy at all. Alright, let's tick up. Now we've got Firecraft protection. And swing in for a butt ton. Where do you block? Yeah, it just blocks the token. Takes 6. Gets some energy, so can do something decent with that, I suppose. And I think we'll just hold this knight in hand. Our opponent uses 3 energy to draw a card. I don't want to add too much to this in case it gets removed. Because then we're left with pretty much nothing. A Ether Theorist for our opponent. Gets 3 energy and then scries. Blue-red energy mill, I'm going to call this. It's an interesting one. Does mean we can't get in with our Lone Rider though, that dude. That's annoying. We could obviously Declaration in Stone it, but I don't see the point. Could even ultimate our Gideon, make that a 3-3 and that's a 2-2, but we don't really get any damage in then either. So ticking up Gideon, best option here. Swing with these 2. Blocks the token, takes 5, or loses a creature. Pick one. Blocks the Gideon. Blocks the token. Okay. Get some more energy. Alright, I think we'll keep 2 creatures in hand. Anything further than that we'll play onto the field. Opponent's going to pay 3 energy. Draw a card. They can't not block Gideon really anymore, so we've got that going for us. And looks like they're going to pass. We draw a Smuggler's Copter. Well, that works for our Lone Rider. Alright, well, let's play Smuggler's Copter. Do you have a counter? No. Might have removal though. Always a possibility. Right, let's tick up. And swing in. Next turn we'll just Declaration any blocker that he's got in the way. Or a Torrential Gearhulk comes down. And we Declaration that instead. So we lose a token, I'm assuming. Goes with a Harness Lightning. Lose our Lone Rider and our token. Then they lose their Gearhulk. And we'll add to the board then, I guess. Blocks and blocks. Takes none, but we gain a life. Let's play knight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I did count right. Good. So, knight gets us a plains, which means we can declaration in stone. We've added a creature to the board as well, so we can crew up with Smuggler's Copter and also put extra pressure on the board. Goodbye, Torrential Gearhulk. Gets himself a clue. Just lets him continue doing the only thing he's really done this game, and that is draw cards. And pass the turn. So if we play Blade Whirl, we use it to crew up the Copter. We swing in for 3, 5, 6, and then 7, 8. Dynavolt Tower, not enough energy to cast it, but that is a shock. Okay. Needs another spell in order to activate the Dynavolt Tower. I assume he's saving it for the Smuggler's Copter. Alright, what do we get? Nimbus Wings. Okay. Let's Nimbus Wings up the Lone Rider. Resolves. Then we could Ultimate Gideon to make it a 3/4. Which puts it out of range of Dynavolt Tower. Means we're not getting in with Gideon though. But Smuggler's Copter gets to go in as a 4/4 if we play the Blade Whirl. 5/5 actually, because we're going to Ultimate Gideon to make sure Lone Rider flips. Yeah, let's do that. Emblem Gideon. Blade Whirl. Essence Scatter. Sure. And kills Gideon. That was a complete and utter mistake on my part. Air opponent for 3. He's going to transform the Lone Rider. Going to make him a big guy. Hopefully our opponent can't deal with his 6/7 first striking lifelink trampler with flying. Because that has him dead on board. If he has no answer for it. See, that was the plan. I just completely forgot that if I minus Gideon, he'd be at 3 and Dynavolt Tower would kill him instead. Which was silly of me and he shouldn't have done it. But our opponent's removal has been burn up to this point, and they're going to need a lot of burn in order to deal with It Rises 1. In fact, if they had an Electrify, they still need 2 shocks in order to kill him. And Chandra is not the answer to that. She can only do 4 damage. Add some mana. Cracks the clue with the mana. And think that will just be game, short of a bounce spell. A disperse or something like that. And he's got no reason to show us that until after we attack. So we'll have to see. We hit a plains. Alright, well, what we can do is pay 1 life, get a 2/2. Crew with that 2/2, just so we have an extra attacker on board. It's not a lethal attacker, but it is an attacker all the same. Harnessed Lightning on our tapped creature. Alright. And they're dead. Why not? Let's loot. Declaration in stone. Woo. Opponent draws and dies. Yeah, our opponent wasn't really doing anything there. I assume they were probably a mill deck of some sort. Perhaps just like an energy burn deck, maybe. But didn't really get the opportunity to show us, for the most part. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. So if you did enjoy the content, then be sure to like and subscribe. I will be Twitch streaming on the weekend as well. Saturday, I will be playing a game I haven't decided on yet, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And Sunday is Magic Duels Day as well, so if you want to come and play with me and against me on Sunday, be sure to follow my Twitch stream. Link is in the description below, so follow me on there and make sure to come and check it out. There's also a timeline on the Twitch channel as well if you want to know when I go live there. Anyway, guys, like and subscribe and hit that little bell icon as well to get notifications when I release new videos. I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.